I'm Steve Watson, buried here in the studio with a health update or lack of health update. I don't know. Update on things. Uh, anyway, the studio is being painted, largely has been painted, which means it'll get uh, reorganized and cleaned and all that. So there's a big pile of stuff in the middle, and so I'm over here. Obviously, I'd like to thank everybody for their help. Lots of donations, lots of check-ins, lots of soup deliveries, lots of people coming by just to clean gutters and transplant trees and fix things and paint things and move all this stuff. And we got more to come tomorrow. That's Wednesday, whatever the 19th of October. Um, and then Sunday, which I guess would be the 23rd. We'll be doing it again. So obviously, you can stop by with coffee for people, or donate some money, or run to the hardware store, or come in weed whack, or paint, or dig, or organize, or dump run. All that kind of stuff would be helpful, or whatever. And perhaps we'll get some bigger projects happening that'll require some real construction experience. So we'll need help with that. And if that's you, thanks in advance. Um, so maybe I'll just kind of tell the story a bit more detailed from the beginning. Is having this discomfort in my belly. I went to my GP or APRN, and they did a few clinical assessments, and they said, well, I better go get the colonoscopy. So we scheduled that. I'm gonna guess a week ahead, a week after. And basically, this is a story of like every stage I don't get good news. I get the less good version of the possible news is. And so I wake up from the colonoscopy and he says, well, we found like, I don't think blockage is the right term, but like a traffic jam. I don't know if that's the right term, but basically he said he couldn't continue the colonoscopy and go all the way because of this, let's say, semi blockage, this mass. Um, and he said to me, look, I don't tell this to anybody. This is not my job, but 99% chance it's cancer. Obviously, until the biopsy results come in, we don't and can't know. But I'm telling you, I've been doing this for however many years. That's what it is. So there's like a little, not the best news. The next day, I got a call, from the lab, I guess, it's cancer. So we're going to refer you to the colon surgeon, I guess. Um, and actually, there was two colonoscopy doctors, and the first one didn't give me the best news based on having looked at my um, first CT scan. And then they did the colonoscopy, and the other doctor told me what I just told you, the 99%. And then the lab told me, yeah, it's cancer, but not really any more than that, except that you need to talk to this surgeon. So I talked to the surgeon, video chat, who didn't give me any better news, but he said, it looks like we might see something on the liver. Could be nothing, could be a thing, sort of, I don't know how he put it, but it's not certain from the imagery. So they wanted more images. So a CT scan that covered more of my abdomen or torso, I guess. So I guess a chest CT, but I'm not really sure. And an MRI. So anyway, I did those, and then I talked to that doctor. I think a second time, also by video chat, and they say, it doesn't look great. It seems more likely that it's cancer also in the liver, da da da. So anyway, what I want you to do is talk to these other two oncologists. um, and you're almost definitely going to need surgery, probably a couple types of surgery. Maybe we can get them done at once, but that has to be coordinated. And also, those other doctors get to have their opinion and say what they think. Um, I don't think it's like they don't want to work together, but can it be done and what's best for me, my body systemically, I guess. So basically, I'm just left with I got to get these appointments, which took a little bit of time, but we got them done. I've now just seen the first oncologist, who's a medical oncologist, which I guess means non-surgical oncologist. The surgical oncologist appointment is the 31st of October. And I assume that means that they're going to say, yeah, I agree, we're going to do surgery, and here's how I want it to be done. Meanwhile, my initial surgeon, the guy who I had to, Patel is his name, Dr. Patel, um, who I've had the two video appointments with, he said that um, uh, I'm trying to remember what I was about to say about that. I'll sip my um, warmed milk. I'm on a soft diet, soft foods diet. Oh, well, I don't remember. He did say basically that whatever the plans are, uh, if things worsen, like I go to the emergency room because I'm actually stopped up, then never mind all the plans. They're cutting into you to remove any blockages, and then I guess we reassess. But anyway, he did say, I've remembered now, that he's bringing the whole case to the tumor board for a review, which I presume means an assessment, different opinions, develop a plan. So in my mind, there's three specialists kind of developing a plan. And then, of course, I have my APRN, who I guess will help coordinate it all or help me with other stuff. So I saw the first oncologist the other day. I'm trying to remember what other day that was. Um, uh, yeah, I just don't remember what day that was. But the other day. Um, and uh, they took blood because they want to look at genetic stuff to help them decide, which course of treatment. But she said basically, you're going to start chemo and probably have surgery. And the chemo we can get started before the surgery can get figured out. So that's the way we're going to do it. My assumption there is that that means the surgery will happen while I have a chemo treatment, which I don't even know is 12 sessions. So I guess that's 24 weeks, something. I don't really remember. It's in the paperwork I got. But basically, it's a journey. So I think that that's what that means. Uh, so that means my first chemo appointment is on the 31st, which is the morning of when I see that surgeon. So I guess that'll be a long day. And as that's the 31st of Monday, um, you know, I don't know if I'll have class that night or if I'll just make it in. I'm guessing at this point during chemo, I'll be there for many hours and I'll actually just be pretty productive and get a lot of work done and actually be more prepared for classes than usual. I don't know. Um, so that doctor that I just saw, Dr. Stein is her name, the medical oncologist, she gave me a few prescriptions so that I have them when it's time for chemo, which I guess are anti-nauseated medicines or things like that. I think they're for side effects. But in advance of that, I have to have, I guess, a fairly minor outpatient surgical um, implantation of a port in the I guess it's the carotid where they put this port in that helps them do the chemo through that, and then probably other medicines, sort of like having an IV. So I have to go in for that, and that is in 8 days on the 26th. Um, and all my chemo will be done in North Haven. That's my understanding. I asked them about elsewhere, but they said that would mean getting to a new doctor in order to go to a new place. And if it was a new doctor, she didn't say it exactly, but she hinted and kind of gave me the look like that doctor won't have the same specialist background as us here. So they'd be sort of a general oncologist. So I said, all right, I guess this is where I go. And it's just an extra 2 hours out of my day to go here and come back. It's sort of less convenient. But anyway, that's what we have. So the medical oncologist told me it's stage four. Um, don't really know what that means or anything. I'm not doing any looking up or research, and I'm just doing what I'm told. So that was the first I heard that. Um, she said that, we see it in the colon and it's also on the hepatic dome on the top of the liver, a little bit similar size area in both, is my understanding. but I don't remember that number. I think she gave me some millimeter or centimeter number. I just don't remember. Um, but so far, no new pain or difficulty or anything. It's just dealing with all this stuff. Um, and what was the other part? Oh, and she said we saw a few little, I guess she called them nodules or questions in the lung, but she said most people have something in their lung. There's stuff we don't know. But what we will do is watch those things because when you have the chemo, it's systemic. And so if we see those things shrink as a result of the chemo, that means that, I think was what she was saying, that that means that that was also the cancer and it had spread there. And then maybe if that's enough evidence for them, that then they want to address that more specifically. I just don't know. Or maybe they all shrink away and hey, thank God we got that too. She did say it started in the colon and ended up in the liver. I don't know how she knows that. That was just a point of interest for me. I don't know. Um, what else did she say? Oh, I just learned that she said, one thing that we don't want to do is get so much chemo done that when the surgeons go in, they find it hard to find the thing that they're supposed to excise. Uh, which I thought, oh, that makes so much sense to me, but I hadn't thought of that. So I'm sure that part of the arrangement of the surgery in terms of chemo is we want to get it while it's visible and so that we can do our job. And then the chemo hopefully mops up the rest, the marooned cancerous cells. I don't really know. But anyway, that's where I'm at. Just to reiterate, thank you, thank you, thank you. We set up a GoFundMe page, which I guess people are donating to. I haven't looked at it, I don't know. Darcy's been coordinating a lot of people to come and help in the different ways that they can. I wouldn't want to press on her too much to do that, so maybe in the coming, I don't know, if there are coming months or weeks, somebody else can take on that role so she can stay better focused on her full-time job. Um, yeah, I know Steve was going to come by and possibly tackle a larger project, but I know we found another larger project when we were in here painting. I don't know if that'll ever get addressed or how that goes. I know I certainly can't afford it, so I just don't know. Um, so the GoFundMe is helpful, but certainly I'm gonna just try and work for my money as long as I can by posting videos. So patreon.com/somedayfarm. Certainly a lot of free videos on YouTube. I'll be putting them on my Buy Me a Coffee page. You can find all these links on my Linktree, which is Someday Farm, searching for Someday Farm on Linktree, or just go to somedayfarm.org, which I think also has all my links. I do want to thank everybody for the poetry. I think I sold every one of the smaller pieces. So again, that's like working for my money makes me feel a lot better than begging for it. But if I have to beg for it, that's in the future, and that just happens when it happens. Um, I think I only have one of the larger pieces remaining, um, which I'd love to sell because it's real money. And also, if I don't make it through this, then I know my children have found homes. There are a couple other large pieces in galleries. So one's in Meriden, Time and Tide, and the other's in Cromwell, the Intuition Tattoo and Art Studio. The Intuition Studio in Cromwell, which I think it's Main Street. I think both studios might be Main Street, actually, Meriden and Cromwell. But the Cromwell one also has a large piece remaining. And you know what? Time and Tide also has a large piece. So there's two large pieces that remain, the originals with the lichen and the oak horse fence rail framing. So stopping in and visiting them, sharing information about those online, getting them into another gallery if you know somebody, obviously just buying them, that'll all be great. Um, I expect that as if I go through this and I come through any of the surgeries, I suppose there's at least one. I don't know if there'll be more. Um, I'll be able to still teach Tai Chi. Maybe I have to sit down more often, or I'm a little grumpier. Probably likely that I have to, cancel a few more classes or reschedule people just because of how I'm feeling or the schedule I have to keep because of chemo, let's say. So, thanks in advance for your flexibility there. Uh, uh, but if I can teach an online workshop for you, or before I have surgery, if I can develop a workshop for you and drive to your place, maybe a couple hours away or less, and do a few hour long seminar, make a few $100, that would help me a great deal, and maybe it would be my last workshop ever. If you want to see things posted, please let me know what you'd like to see me teach and get on tape before I die, um, which is a likelihood, I guess, a possibility. I don't know how likely. Again, I'm proceeding as though this is the end of my life, and I want to do that as well as I can. Who knows what I'll be capable of? And maybe I wake up on the other side and I just have a lot of bills and pain and return visits to doctors and go bankrupt. I just don't know. But I'm proceeding as though I'm going to die. That makes the most sense to me. And if it doesn't turn out to be true, I'll have practiced that for when it does come, maybe 40 years from now. I just don't know. Um, I would like to remind you, you know, that I'm very grateful for all the help, all the offers of rides, and I might end up taking up people on those offers. All the physical help, all the donations, all the people deciding, you know what, I can spend $6 a month and go on your Patreon, or $20, or $80, or $3, or go and buy me a coffee. You don't even have to sign up. You can just donate $10 for one of the videos I posted and enjoy it, as a sort of one-off non-subscription model way of supporting me. Um, but I don't intend to fight this thing. That is not my intention, even a little bit. But I am happy to do what the experts say. And they say, take this medicine, have this surgery, go do this chemo. I'm happy to do that. And I aim to do that. And that's my plan. But I'm not going to go into this with an attitude of fighting or overcoming or defeating. Not my plan at all. I know enough about violence and conflict. I don't want to be a part of it. Um, I've always taught martial arts. In terms of chemo, I guess one of the other things was that I guess there's a couple chemo drugs. I don't know, like three of them or whatever that they will be doing. And I think the way it works is you go in for the number of hours. I don't know, 4, 5, 6, whatever hours, half a day, something like that. And then they hook you up into that port with something, I think it's 46, I don't remember, but 2 days of this pump, which I guess is sort of like a fanny pack kind of thing that you hang on you or put around your belt. And then it's, got a tube and it goes in and it gives you that chemo for a couple days. So then you have to have another appointment to go have it de-hooked up. So I suppose that'll be a little bit less convenient for teaching, but I'll presume I'll consider it a challenge creatively and see what we can do with it. How do you tie up somebody's arms that's punching you with the tube? I don't know. It should be fun, but I'm sure it'll be inconvenient and annoying, but I'm sure millions of people do it and it's inconvenient and annoying. So that'll be a fun feature. Um, that I guess some of you will get used to when I have that on my person for those couple days. Uh, okay, I guess what I'll do is I'll just show you that last remaining poetry piece since I came over to the camera. My bet is that you won't get a great view of it. Those of you who've been in the studio have seen it a lot before. This one says, expectation is a lens through which we fail to see the world. Expectation is a lens through which we fail to see the world, which is yet another one of those teachings I think is deeply, 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 deeply important. And that's all I have to say on that subject. Um, so thank you all very, very much. Oh, you just got a preview of the new paint in the studio. I guess you'll have to come to class for that. Thank you. All day this Sunday, I guess maybe from 10 on, was a work day, and we have a Shingi class at 11. Uh, so join in. Monday night, 6:30, we do a Tao Te Ching class, so you can join us via Zoom for that. Thank you. Love.